And I'm going to show you this. This is probably the craziest thing you might ever have seen. I know that sounds like a big buildup, but it's certainly one of the dumber things I've ever seen someone say. Democratic Maxine Waters. So people had heard she was going to have like a meeting with constituents, and people had heard that they were people in desperate need of housing, heard that they were giving out vouchers for Section 8 housing. So a bunch of people showed up at this meeting. So Maxine Waters sparked outrage among crowded homeless, blah, 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 blah. So you want to hear what she tells them? So these people show up and they want to know, hey, how can we get some housing? We need housing. We don't have housing. Watch what she tells them.
Wilshire. Did they move another location where they're taking ads? Is there any more locations than this one?
So they're asking her, are there any more locations where they're taking applications for Section 8 housing? Are there any more locations? Because they just told them, I guess, apparently there's no applications here. And watch what she says.
Many people out here. 1 minute. I want.
So Section 8 is the name of a government or a state-ran funded program that supplements or helps to pay rent or has like lowered rent control locations, but it's like very low, or it can be very low. And I know this because we were on the list. I was on the list for Section 8 for many years, and it's ridiculous. Like, you literally get on that. The people who's supposed to be on Section 8 are people who need housing immediately. And guess how long they wait on that? It's literally years. The people who need the homes the most get put on the waiting list that's years long. It is completely ridiculous. Listen to Maxine Waters.
Many people out here. 1 minute. I want everybody to go home. And I want you.
She just said, I want everybody to go home. Do you know why the people are there? Because they don't have homes. And they're desperate. That's why they showed up. Do you think they're there because they got nothing else to do? Because they like your perfume? Because they want to come talk to you? Because they think you're interesting? Why do you think those people are there? She tells them, go home. If that is not let them eat cake. Hey, we're out of bread. We don't have any bread. Well, why don't you guys eat cake? Hey, we don't have any housing. Well, just go home for a while and cool down. We don't have a house. Go home. I'll play it again.
Everybody to go home. And I want you. We don't got no home. That's why we here. Miss McKinney.
Oh. And now she starts laughing. She starts laughing at desperate people who are surrounding her. I don't have to describe.
She's laughing because it's funny that, oh, you don't got a home. I'm going to go home to my plush place right now, but you don't have one. That's what she's laughing about. Or she's laughing knowing the fact that she's not going to do a motherfucking thing for none of these people. But she's going to ask for their vote.
That, do I? You see what she's doing. You see the kind of disdain she has for poor people. You see it, right? Can you imagine if Donald Trump told homeless people to go home, what that people would be saying? Can you imagine if I told homeless people to go home, what people would be saying? No one's going to say shit about this. And she's not going to be wild. Jimmy Kimmel is not going to mock her. Stephen Colbert is not going to mock her for this because she's on their team. They all don't like Trump. She's laughing.
Waters, keep on we gonna go to?
Yeah.
Just a moment.
Just said might have been some
Just a
people
moment.
out here.
Nothing
They
is
just
going
went
to
somewhere else.
happen
They
here
didn't want
today.
to mess with.
Nothing is going to happen.
So she's telling.
You homeless motherfuckers, nothing's happening for y'all today. Take your ass home. Maybe she's of the philosophy, home is where you are. Whether it's on the street, unhoused, that's your home. In between sweeps, by the way.
Tell them, we're not doing anything for you today. Go get away. You don't have a home, go somewhere else. Nothing is going to happen. We aren't doing shit for you. Just like we've never done anything for you. Just like we gave $5 trillion to the richest people in the world, and then we flattened you by doing a lockdown. And we wouldn't even give you a $2,000 check. We ain't doing anything for you.
Anymore today.
So what about all these names?
What we
and
gonna?
telephone
Well,
numbers
that's
that
what.
this lady can you working hard to help you.
She's like, what about all these people? What about all these names? But come November, you ain't black if you don't come vote for us. Come vote for us because we gave you Juneteenth. I got Black Lives Matter in my profile, so come vote for me. Oh, fund your schools. Yeah. Yeah, here, take this holiday with you. Housing for everybody. Oh, that's great. Healthcare for everybody. That's great. Go on over here. Go home. And then you go and vote for them. I don't understand this. I don't understand this. It is so bizarre to me that you can keep voting for people and you don't materially feel a difference. Literally, it's been a neoliberal hellhole. You literally can put a cat as president and it's going to feel the same. The system is terrible. The system needs to be changed. You can't reform this in the same way that you can't or couldn't reform a plantation. Can you reform a plantation and institute reforms to make slavery better? Is that possible? Do you know that's what they were trying to do? Do you know that was the conservative, the liberal position was just, let's just make some reforms. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. I want to hear the lady again. So let me rewind it back. The lady that responds here.
Everybody to go home. And I want.
We don't got no home. That's why we here.
Miss McKinney took.
Yeah.
And now she starts.
I'm laughing because that voice brings back so many memories of just people in the neighborhood. Man. Let's listen some more.
She starts laughing. She starts laughing at desperate people who are surrounding her. I don't have to describe that, do I? You see what she's doing. You see the kind of disdain she has for poor people. You see it, right? Can you imagine if Donald Trump told homeless people to go home, what that people would be saying? Can you imagine if I told homeless people to go home, what people would be saying? No one's going to say shit about this. And she's not going to be wild. Jimmy Kimmel is not going to mock her. Stephen Colbert is not going to mock her for this because she's on their team. They all don't like Trump. She's laughing.
Waters, which one we gonna go to? Yeah. Just a moment. Just a moment. Nothing is going to happen here today. Nothing is going to happen.
So she's telling them, we're not doing anything for you today. Go get away. You don't have a home? Go somewhere else. Nothing is going to happen. We aren't doing shit for you. Just like we've never done anything for you. Just like we gave $5 trillion to the richest people in the world, and then we flattened you by doing a lockdown. And we wouldn't even give you a $2,000 check. We ain't doing anything for you.
Anymore today.
So what about all these names?
What we gonna
telephone
well,
numbers that the working hard to help you.
That's why I'm here. And so I will be downtown with Lassa. I will get the housing authority. That's why they came out here today. I made them come out. And I'm gonna go.
And you need to know why they're failing, because Blanca Jimenez repeated, we gave her several meeting requests for you concerning this in Lassa for years. And now they're sitting
There's
here.
nobody in Washington who works for their people in harder than I do.
I believe you.
What?
I believe you.
So
What?
instead of coming up with a solution to help them, she gets defensive. No one works harder than me.
Okay, tell me this. If no one in Washington works for anybody, what does that statement mean? If no one works for Washington, if no one in Washington works for people, and you make a fall to the housing authority to come down to this event, you've done more than everybody in Washington. You can say that now. Simply making a phone call, not even you, your reps making a phone call for an organization to just be at an event. You can now say, there's no one who's done more in Washington for people than me. People in Washington aren't doing anything. So that's not a great comparison. Maxine. Terrible. Let's continue with Jimmy.
So she's upset. She has a home. She has millions of dollars. But she's upset at the poor people who want her to actually do something. Do you see the kind of person Maxine Waters is? She's a regular politician who is completely self-involved and doesn't care about the people she claims to care about. She couldn't care less.
No.
Work with me.
No.
Work with me so we can house people. That's what I'm doing.
I do every day.
Work with me so we can house people. That's obviously an organizer or an activist saying, hey, can you work with me so I can house people?
The money that you got.
I still live on the damn streets. What do you mean you do? She's saying, I do every day. She said, I try to work with you. I try to help you every day. She goes, I'm still on the damn streets. What are you talking about?
Yes.
This is amazing.
These people are completely they are living in a different parallel universe and expecting people like this to do anything for you. That is so ridiculous. Now, is it more ridiculous? Are they more ridiculous, or are you ridiculous for still supporting this shit? This is wrong. Oh no, Joe Sana. Let me put this on mute here. They might start having a conversation in the chat, but I mean, just terrible. And then, oh, I'm doing this, and you'll list a bunch of things. They'll have a list, and then nothing on the list, you'll be thinking like, none of that shit affects me at all. But they always can tell you how it may not affect you, but it's helping. Who? Who are you talking about? Who have you helped? As long as you've been there, Maxine, your whole district should be living good. How are you there this long and your district is still this terrible? What does that say about your job performance? If Congress was an employer and it was your job to produce results, what would your 1 year review look like? Would you be getting a raise, Maxine Waters? What have you delivered? Stop voting for these people. Stop donating to these people. You have to stop voting in order for any change to happen. Stop voting for them. I'm sorry, not stop voting, but stop voting for either of the teams, red or blue. You have to stop voting for them. Stop donating. Stop engaging. They're literally not doing anything for you, taking your money and getting rich